Hi guys, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Aaron Bassi, and I'm here to talk to you about one of my favorite features of Kangen Water, and that's the strong Kangen Water, the 11.5 pH. Guys, this is used for two things predominantly. The first thing is to use as a degreaser, so it can clean oily grime off your kitchen countertops or whatever you're looking to clean, and it's perhaps even more importantly used to clean pesticides off your produce. Now let's see how that works, guys. So I've got my 11.5 here, and let's take, for example, some produce you'd buy at your local produce section in your supermarket. I've got here some cherry tomatoes. Guys, you might recognize this brand. They're little cherry tomatoes, and we're gonna look how Kangen Water cleans that cherry tomato as compared to our tap water here that I've got. So again, I've got my cherry tomatoes, and I'm gonna put it into these 2 cups. So normally we've got the cherry tomatoes here, and typically we just rinse it in your tap and see what comes off, right? So we've got that here, and just like we would do at home, I'm gonna give that tap water a little pour into this cup on my left here, up to the top. And then in this other cup, I'm putting the 11.5, and we're gonna see how they fare. And while we're waiting, I want you guys to take a closer look of what's going on in these cups. In order to do that and really give you a visual demonstration, I've got this sesame oil. This sesame oil is a nice dark color, as you can see, and so it's really gonna show us what's going on. So again, I'm gonna pour a thin layer of oil in each cup here on the side. So we've got this little layer of oil. And in this cup too, I'm pouring that oil. Now, if you hearken back to the time that you learned basic chemistry, you might remember a principle. And that principle was oil and water don't. If you said mix, you're right. So let's check that principle again and revisit those classes from grade school. I'm pouring in the water, and as we speak, we can see that oily layer forming on top. You see that brown near my fingers right there, and the lower part of it's gonna be the water. So it's separating out as we would expect. Now let's see if that holds true with Kangen Water too. So we're gonna do the same thing. Now guys, keep your eyes on this cup right here. Do not blink or you'll miss it. So right, Kangen Water and oil and water don't mix. Well, not so much. And so in this case, I have what's looking like a cream soda, and what's actually happening is that 11.5 is emulsifying that oil. In other words, it's taking the oil and breaking it down into particles. Now, I'm not just here doing magic. There is a reason for that it's important. And in order to understand that reason, we have to look at how farmers and agricultural workers prepare our produce. Now, the pesticides that we use are oil-based in nature. And the reason being is that if it rains, the rain won't simply wash the pesticide coating off, and the bugs won't be able to eat it. But if the rainwater can't simply wash off the pesticides, my question to you is, what chances are water that comes out of the tap have? And if you answered not much, then you're right. Let's check it out in real time, guys. So now I've got this, and it's been washing a little bit now, and so I'm gonna pour it off into this cup. And if you can see, there's not much coming off. It's looking pretty clear, just like we did when we initially put that water in. So you can see up there. And now let's look at Kangen Water, guys. So again, I've washed these tomatoes in the 11.5, which we now know breaks down oil to some degree. And so I want you guys to see that color. Guys, this is what we're putting in our body whenever we eat those tomatoes. This white color is really gonna show that off. Now this is the Kangen Water right here. This yellow color, guys, that's what we're putting in our body. Now, I wanna put it into perspective for you. The organ that's responsible for making sense of this and getting rid of this nice yellow color that we see here is our liver. So we're putting a lot of physiological stress on our liver. It's responsible for our detox function. And I'd hate to think what it's doing to our other organs, but I know one thing, that I don't want that in my body, and I don't want that in the bodies of the people that I love. Guys, when it comes to Kangen water, it's really important to get the facts, but it's also equally important to really try the water and experience the difference. Because, let's be honest, when you're feeling good and you're feeling healthy, you can be the best version of yourself. And when you're the best version of yourself, you inspire those around you to do the same thing, and so on and so forth. You can see how taking the time to really value your health and invest in your health can leave such a lasting impact on you and those around you. Tremendous impact. Now, guys, I've never met you personally, but I do know one thing. I do know you are worthy of health, and I know you are worthy of well-being. And with water, Kangen water at your side, you're laying a firm foundation for health and well-being, and you're well on your way to your health goals. Again, thanks for joining me today. My name is Aaron. Warm wishes of health and well-being to you and all those you love. Thanks again.